And good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. You have Sir Rick here, Drive Safe Dave, back from vacation. You looking good. You're looking well. I like the whole look you have going on today, Drive Safe Dave. Welcome back from vacation. A little bit of California look.
Yeah, I know. I felt I'm catching up a little bit with the time. Leaping forward and feeling a little good this morning.
Yeah, how was vacation?
It was nice.
What'd you do?
Drove from Tahoe all the way down into the city through Napa.
So you went to vacation. You flew to go drive?
I flew to go drive. Yeah.
Wow. And was it nice? The weather good?
It was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. Did a little gambling in Tahoe. Did a little winery in Napa, and did a little Garibaldi's chocolate in California. So in a little Chinatown, little Italy, great food and a lot of fun.
Well, good, man. It's great to have you back. We're at 77 days of driving safe, 18 days of getting out and looking. I don't know if you caught the show while you're on vacation, if you even watch the show when you're on vacation, but I want you to take a look at the producer there with showing off a little black eye there. Big Blue, he didn't like the Big Blue look. All the attention
How did that happen?
Blue hits.
What did I miss? How did he get a black eye? What did I miss? Did you bob instead of weave? What happened there?
Well, to go over the story again here. So I was out. It was my birthday this past weekend. So I was out at a pool with some of my buddies, and Chelsea and I both tried to come up on this pool float at the same time, and her head hit my eye.
Oh, his girlfriend gave it to you.
Yep, so my girlfriend gave it to me, yep.
Little shiner, nothing wrong with that.
Too many no's,
He
not
looks,
enough yeses.
He looks good, man. He looks a little tougher, I'll be honest with you. I like that look, producer. I like it.
I know all about them pool accidents.
Yes, you got to watch out for the pools. Hey, I enjoyed my vacation, Drive Safe Dave. Kendra and I got back from seeing our son up in Montana. Just a great time, beautiful up there. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm just not the nature kind of guy. I was up there and we did some hiking. 32,000 steps is what we did in a day. A little over 13 miles.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Here's some pictures here of what we got to see out there. It was absolutely beautiful. But you know what? I'm out on
How many
this,
days? You were doing that for about 14 days?
You know what? I was good for a day. I did this for, we got there Thursday afternoon and we left Saturday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I could have left Friday.
I could have left
Friday. I mean, there's no doubt. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I just
and
don't
you complain about me
driving.
driving.
Tell you something. I will tell you that I saw a couple of grizzlies.
That's nice.
Out in the wild. We saw some black bear. We saw some bighorn sheep. Saw some moose. The moose is a long ways away. That was kind of cool. But so we landed, and my son picked us up, and we're waiting for like 15 minutes. He goes, "Okay, now it's a good time to go over bear safety with you." I'm thinking, whatever. You know what? I don't need no stinking bear safety. I'm probably not even going to see him. And I was giving him crap the whole time. And he's like, "You realize you're in the grizzly capital of the lower 48, don't you?" And I was like, well, whatever. And then sure enough, we run across some bears. And
okay, what is that?
So I just don't need to be there. I don't need to hang out with the bears, producer. I have no business out there.
Yeah, I hear you, but also, this place is gorgeous. I don't know what you mean you can only be here for 2 days. There's so much to go around and check out.
So I'm gonna go into this a little bit more. So I've never been there before, and he worked there last year during the summer break of school. Doing it again this year, and he said, "Hey, you got to come. This place is beautiful." And I get there, and as soon as I walk into the place, it's a historic place. Drive Safe Dave. Which means what? What does that mean to you?
Non-modern.
Yes, non-modern. No AC. Nothing. I mean, I'm thinking I'm out on this. I, Sir Rick, do not appreciate the historic hotels because they usually don't have. Put me in a Fairfield Inn is all I gotta say. Put me in a field that has AC, has a TV.
Yeah.
And you know what?
A mini bar.
Hook me up with some internet. Just give me a mini bar. Give me something. And none of that was there.
Oh, man.
You got to open up the doors, and it was hot. I mean, it was still 85 degrees, no AC. You open up your doors, and you have the water. And I guess that's supposed to be cool, but it doesn't make me relax.
So I was at Tahoe. It's beautiful scenery, mountains, everything. You close the doors, you turn around, open the door, casino.
That, my friends, where I needed to be at. Yeah, so
I looked with my wife, I held on to her, and I said, "This is absolutely gorgeous. I'll be in the casino."
no, I get it. I appreciate all that. My son loves it there. He loves the nature. So the day that we left at 6 o'clock in the morning, we take him, drop him off, and him and a girl, they're going on a 18-mile hike that day.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I did that.
Yeah. So try
did that in the reserves.
Let me
I'm
tell
not
you
ever
something.
doing that
I
again.
did this hike. We went up this mountain that you saw the pictures of there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was tough. I mean, it was a whooping.
Oh.
And I can't believe Miss Kendra went the whole way. And I wouldn't have hated her if she'd have said, "I'm done, let's turn around." As a matter of fact, I was kind of banking on her to quit, and she didn't do it.
Oh, my God.
I was like, "Babe, come on." In my heart, I was thinking, it's just getting steeper. You know, I was trying to talk her out of it. But she made it all the way because she's even less outdoors than I am.
Oh, wow.
And she doesn't like to sweat, and it was hot. Drive safe day. It was hot, but she made the climb. I will say on the way back down, she finally met her breaking point. She was done.
Yeah,
because it seemed like you were never going to get it to the hotel. It was over there, and like it was moving away from us, and I was done too. I was like, my God, just get me here so I can go get something to eat in a restaurant that makes hamburgers. That's non-luxurious. That doesn't have AC. Get me back there though.
So I'll tell you, I had a similar experience on our trip. We walked from our hotel up to Lombard Street, which is almost straight uphill. We got to the top of Lombard, and I Ubered us back out of there because I was done. We got to Lombard Street all the way to the top of the hill. I was like, okay. My wife was like, "Oh, I'm exhausted. Where are we going next?" I go, "In a cab." That's where we're going.
Can I tell you what's not closed right now? Drive safe, Dave. I40 is open. So if you're on I40, you're in a truck, and you want to you don't want to go around anymore, it's free to go through I40. It's open, folks.
That Mississippi is no longer a boundary. You can cross right over it into Memphis and West Memphis, Arkansas.
It's wide, but what's closed is I70.
Yep.
I40 opens up just in time for I70 many miles away to shut down due to flooding.
Okay, now I will tell you,
unbelievable.
This is different. This is not the same type deal that I-40 was. This right here, you got to go a long way around if you're not going I-70. If you got to go along, you got to either go out through Durango off of 160, or you got to go up to I-80 and go around.
And if you're here at BCB and you're going, we're probably going to suggest the I-80 route.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I-80. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And there were cars that were stuck for many hours. AKA all night. Waiting for this to happen. I mean, that road got washed out.
Right.
It was crazy. And they said there in Colorado, they had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and they don't even know when. They don't even have a projected reopening date right now at this moment.
Well, they could always do what they said in off I-40, just keep pushing it back, right?
Yeah. Blocked. Here it is, blocked. And you know, just because it's got debris on the road they're not sure exactly what kind of damage to the infrastructure to the road is underneath, and to the because all those pylons are damaged. They said like never before, so they're not sure the integrity of the bridge. And if you've ever driven that, it's just a bridge all the way over that river, all the way up into up through the mountains. So on I-70, so we don't know how long that's going to be. Definitely going to be definitely a difficult.
Well, what happens first? Does that highway get fixed at I-70, or does the infrastructure bill get passed? Which happens first? Drive safe, Dave. You tell me.
I don't know.
So listen to this. Did you see this thing?
Yeah,
hey, they finally got it. It's unveiled for all to read. So if you want to do
argue.
it's only 2,700 pages. If you got nothing to do, 2,700 pages, $1 trillion infrastructure bill. It has been unveiled.
Yeah.
And now the vote happens, right?
Right. Well, they're going to argue about it because they're going to some of it they agree on, some of it they don't agree on.
But it's bipartisanship. Shouldn't it already be done?
No, that just means just because you and I doesn't mean our wives want that to happen, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it goes over there. There's a lot they want to tack on, a lot they want to change, but a huge $1 trillion bill, right? I mean, it's a huge bill.
Can you imagine, seriously, some of the stuff that is hidden inside 2,700 pages?
Oh.
I bet some of those pages are them just like typing whatever, just to have the length be long, so that the next guy has to read it all the way through. It's
That's why
for
you
no
have a
reason.
staff.
Yeah.
But that staff is going, and let me tell you something. If you're part of that staff that's reading that 2,700 pages, don't make a mistake. You better read over it with a fine line, watching out for everything, because God forbid somebody gets something through, because people are trying to sneak things through, Drive Safe.
Oh yeah, they want their pork in there. They want to make sure that their area, their state, their whatever it is gets what it needs in order for the bill to pass. But some of that stuff is definitely needed. Some of that stuff is the bill, the water, bridges, roads, all that stuff.
Let's face it, this infrastructure here
has to be done.
and we're not talking internet right now. And let me tell you something: the infrastructure bill for the internet, we need it in Montana. If I'm going back there again, we got to have better internet up there.
Great
So, we
stuff.
got to have something. But the roads that we see, they continue to be an issue across this United States of America. It is an aging highway system.
It is, and it's not just that. I think a lot of our a major portion of our bridges are below standard, right? So they got to be dealt with, and they've got to be fixed and repaired. Not just the one off across I40, but a lot of our bridges need attention, very very detailed attention, in order to make them safe for the next generation of people out there on the road.
Producer, what you got for us?
I was just going to say, and the road portion of the bill is actually the biggest that's going to be getting money out of this bill. They're expecting $110 billion for roads and bridges, $66 billion for railway transportation, $55 for water and wastewater infrastructure, $39 billion for public transit, and then I believe the rest is divided up into public transportation, airports, ports, broadband internet, electric vehicle charging stations, among many other things as well.
So I wonder if is there a senators or somebody up there going, $1 trillion is the infrastructure bill. You think that's happening?
No, you know what? I think it's going to get passed. It has to be passed. I just don't know what the final picture is going to be. I don't know truly, they're either going to knock some off or they're going to add some. So I really don't know what the final picture is going to be. There's so much to this bill that is being debated right now. A lot of it came out, and sure enough, there were already representatives and senators crying foul on the bill. So we don't know where it's at.
A little gold medal or medal tracker update. Producer, where we're at now? 68, 68, and 51. How about that? 51 for a country that doesn't even exist. That's just weird to me still. Imagine if they were a country.
How are they allowed to? I mean, they're anyway, it is what it is. I guess it's the sign of the times. But yeah, Russian Olympic Committee. I think that's what that stands for.
Yeah, but we're up there. We've definitely hiked our way back up. We're still staying strong in that first two position. I think pretty much the whole time we've been up there in that top ranking overall. But we are currently second place in gold, followed in third place by Japan in gold. So, we're staying strong, more or less.
Yeah, you know what, and we're pretty good at getting second and third right now. We're leading the pack in silver and bronze, and I don't know, Drives. I'm all about the gold. I'm not about the medal count. It's about the gold medal. Let's make sure we all understand that China leading the gold medal right now. That's what everybody goes. They do not come back and say, "Man, you kicked butt. You had 300 bronzes." No, it's all about the gold medal. It's about first place.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know what? I'll tell you that China's really turned the corner and made a difference over the last, I would say, 25 years in doing.
Well, they have some pretty good odds, right? I mean, there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
over there.
they 4-1. 3-1 compared. They got a bigger pool.
Much significant, yes. If in high school they would be like 8A, you wouldn't even be a 6A. I mean, they're just huge. I mean, it's just a massive. Hey, and also speaking of China, boy, some of these container companies, Drive Safe, if you missed it yesterday, the profits that's going on right now. We have some U.S. companies also suing, the companies that are bringing these containers in out of China over here. All of these massive charges that are going on. We had Maersk come in and have changed their projections for the EBITDA, for their forecast. Here it goes. At the beginning of the year, they had projected for the year $8.5 to $10.5 billion EBITDA is what they expected to make. Right. Not a bad year. In May, they changed it from 13 to 15.
That's
again, significant. And then just yesterday, they raised it again between $18 to $19.5 billion profit in EBITDA is what they're asking, is what they're calling for this year. Stock's going crazy. Those container businesses are just breaking they're crushing every rule, every record they've ever held. Not even close.
Is that and it's not? I mean, it's just because there's just so much demand for them, right? I mean, it's just
so we talked yesterday about the furniture company. We say it's the furniture. It's some kind of company here in the United States that's some kind of household goods that's suing them because they're kind of breaking the rules. They're saying, you know what? I don't have room for your stuff, U.S. company, because I can go to the spot market and these folks are going to pay me $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 to move their container. So I don't have room for yours. I know we had prices negotiated, but it's gone.
It's gone.
We don't have room for yours because I can get this. And it's absolutely insane what's going on right now. It's supply and demand, right?
Yeah,
right? I guess at some point, when does it stop? Again, $20,000. We had an automobile company in here yesterday going over. We moved some product for them inside the States. They are now getting charged between $20,000 to $25,000 per 20-foot container to move freight over here. Yes, so if you're looking for that sale at the automobile place, if you're looking for that Ford with a heck of a deal, let me tell you something, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
Probably not going to see many 0% interest right now.
No.
Probably not honoring the Ford manufacturer pricing or the Ford employee pricing. Probably not going to happen today.
No.
It's a different world that we're in right now.
And you go out to I don't know if you've been to any of these or driven by any of these places that sell cars, the lots are empty. I mean, they don't have a lot of new cars. Their inventory's down immensely. They just don't have it. They don't have it in stock yet, and they just don't have it for you to sell. I mean, we're talking about shortages across the
shortages, and we still deal with the chip shortage as well that's going on right now. It's real right now, and again, it's a different world we're in. Hey, as we continue to get our Volvos in, I know we saw an email yesterday. I think we got 4, 5, 6, 7 more coming in. Yeah, so some more Volvos coming in. It's important that we get these trucks, we get them swapped out. Drive safe, Dave. We get out of these older trucks into the newer, safer equipment that also provides us better fuel economy, safer for our drivers to drive in. A lot of benefits that we want to do. And if you're out there driving one of these new trucks, and when I say new truck, any of the truck, if you're driving a Volvo, that's still a new truck. Listen, we want to make sure we're maintaining the idle, that we're not idling these things away, that if there's something wrong with your APU, if there's something wrong with your truck, that we're communicating that back to the folks in here. And 39 code, call somebody, let them know. Driver managers, we've got to keep an eye on this as well. Yep. We don't want to, we don't want to throw those emissions in the air, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to throw the green money up in the air either.
Yeah, and it's not good for the truck. I mean, idling has never been. Those engines weren't made to sit and just run. Those are race horses that you're keeping saddled in the cage, and you're not letting them run free. And so just idling them is bad for the engines. It's bad for the filters, the DEF filters. It's bad for them 100%. So it's less maintenance if you use the APUs. I mean, it's less maintenance on the trucks.
Hey, stick right here with me, Drive Safe Dave. We're going to do a little bit of freight and review. Not a lot of crazy things going on, so we'll just hop right into it. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Freight and Review. We're just going to look at the van outbound tenders real quick. We looked yesterday at the total freight at 15,000. The dry van market at 10,960. It's down about 0.5%. We did see in Dallas, Texas, and we won't have to look at the chart here. We saw a big drop in freight out of Dallas, Texas. Yesterday, we see a drop in the head haul. Remember, the head haul is when we look at the amount of freight to trucks. We went from 150 yesterday, 150 more trucks. 150 more loads than there were trucks, down to 130. Drive safe day. Some things that I question is think about yesterday here in Dallas is it's hard to imagine that we shipped out that less freight. I know it's a Monday, we don't ship out a lot, but how much of this do you think when we have storms, when we have the weather, does that affect, the amount of freight that gets shipped out of even a Dallas-Fort Worth area, you think?
Absolutely. I think anytime you have inclement weather, especially when you have blackouts, power outages, things go offline, computers go offline, people aren't prepared, and then it happens over a weekend, and then you get in there on Monday and nobody knows, hey, I got to get a hold of IT, they got to get them back up and running. That didn't print off the line, and it goes everywhere from just not only the product to the people, but even to the paperwork.
Yeah, I believe in some things we're seeing this year more than we've seen ever before is the fluctuation in capacity in production as well. Meaning that, man, we are all understaffed right now. In the trucking industry, we talk about it, but we're not alone. No. The hotel that we stayed at, this historic hotel, let me tell you, they were understaffed. They didn't have enough people. They didn't have the restaurants open. They weren't staffed. Kirsten and I went to go eat last night. They weren't staffed. Signs up, not staffed. We landed there in Kalispell, Montana. Bailey was just, man, he was just craving for some Buffalo Wild Wings. We pull up to Buffalo Wild Wings. The sign says, due to staffing, we will open up at 4 p.m. I'm just saying, this is the world. It's a different world we're in right now as businesses, manufacturers, shippers, receivers, restaurants, trucking, draymen, everything, guards at places that are letting you in. They are all short-staffed right now. Whether anything really does, it doesn't take much, I guess, to really change up what's going on.
Right. I mean, you don't have the extra guy there. You don't have if that guy can't make it because his house is out of power, there's nobody there.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything. It's not just the one person. I mean, we count on, we have like if this guy's not there, the next guy steps up. The next guy. There are no next guy to step up. They're just not there and they're not available.
They're not available. And also when we look at the production, when we think about the amount, we talked about these profits on these ships right now. Right. Well, think about that, Dry Safe. The reason why they're profiting so much is that people are willing to pay that amount. These shippers are willing to pay it because they've got to run production. They don't have a choice. And that product, if that driver is sick, if that person unloading on the crane, the ship, doesn't calls in sick, any delay can really change your production, can change your shipping habits because that container didn't make it in, that ship didn't make it in, that truck carrying that product broke down and didn't make it in. And today, when we talk about just-in-time freight, it wasn't many years ago that they managed the JIT freight on our trailers. Just-in-time freight today is just about everything. They need it. It's got to come in. Any delay that goes on right now really does affect this right here.
Yeah, and in everywhere, and you'll see it. No, most of the time when it had just open windows to deliver, those are being narrowed immensely. Just when you get how to get somewhere, to be somewhere, it is important that you be there on time. And those things like that are being said more and more because they're waiting for that product to hit the shelf. I mean, to hit the dock so that they can start getting it out.
Crazy times indeed in transportation. Hey, that's your Freight and Review. Stick with us because coming up next, we have a little bit of safety. Getting ready for Buckle Up Bob.
Fire. Today we are joined by Music Man Mike. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, I'm going to go with Gilligan's Island.
On the scale of 1 to 10, are you good at keeping secrets?
9.
Okay. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat an animal cracker?
There's nothing wrong with animal crackers.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals? Tell the truth.
I have to tell the truth because my wife's probably going to see this.
So I'm guessing that's a yes.
And she calls me Felix because we know a guy that used to do it on a regular basis.
Okay. Do you know the definition of skydecaphobia?
Skydecaphobia. It's something to do with frisbees, I think.
So the extreme superstition of the number 13.
Oh, wow.
And what is the sound you would make if you were freezing cold?
Oh, that's a horse. I'm sorry.
I like it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live. Drive Safe Dave. Last week there was a video that we shared with everybody, and it was a tragic video, but it's one that I want to kind of talk into and dive in again in some more information. Producer, can you share that video with us? So it's a very, I mean, there's no doubt this is a horrific accident right here. Drive safe. And there were a lot of questions, a lot of comments on the sun, on that vehicle that was in the left lane. Should it have been over all the way to the left, right? Should have been over there. You know, so many comments made on this video here. Some things that again I want to just talk about a little bit was, you know, we blame things oftentimes on the sun, we couldn't see very well. The sun was kind of in that driver's eyes perhaps. And in drive safe, I guess for me, that means we slow down. You know, speed and space in everything has to be our first thing. We can't ever say that the sun was in our eyes, right? We don't want to say that because and I get it is, but that means we got to really back it down to that speed that allows us to drive safe. Other things I saw in here, Drive Safe Dave, when I looked at that video was I mean, there was a truck, a semi, in the right lane. And it had the blinkers on, it had its HAZ on. But not us, it wasn't our truck, it was a truck. It got into the left lane. And my question is that you saw that truck probably. And at what point do you not slow your speed down significant when you see a truck in that right lane? It wasn't all the way over in the shoulder, it was in the right lane. At what point do you not slow down? Using your surroundings, using the situation around you to reduce your speed, increase your space before anything else happens.
You know, I've seen this video several times, and it is concerning and alarming. And genuinely, I don't know. I wouldn't put any of it based upon light. I truly believe lost focus of what was going on the road, wasn't paying attention, or would have slowed down. Right? I mean, you see two stopped vehicles in front of you in traffic, you typically slow down, and here we not an inkling of slowing down. And to me, that's the dangers. That's the hardest part about trucking, and that's one of the most difficult things about being a truck driver is that importance on staying focused all the time on what's going on ahead of you. And I truly think that's the hardest part about being a truck driver is that attention to detail all the time behind the wheel, knowing what's happening out there in front of you. And we see this and these things happen, but I'm telling you, so much goes into that, just that being aware of the situation as it occurs every single moment.
Yeah, and as we watch that tragic, and it was tragic, there's no doubt about it, but it's a reminder to all of us. It's a reminder to all of us exactly about what you said there. The hardest part is staying focused.
That is.
So that means we got to make sure we're putting away the distractions.
Absolutely.
That cell phone, we got to put it away. The texting, you got to put it away. All of these items got to be put away because you've got to maintain your focus on the road ahead, being ready, Drive Safe Dave, to increase your space and apply them brakes to slow down, watch your speed, increase your space. Those two things alone, with situational awareness, that will save a lot of lives.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that when you lose focus and you get away from that and you get away, bad things will happen in a second. It only takes a brief moment. It only takes a very, very small amount of time before everything can happen because you're traveling at 100 feet a second. And it doesn't take long before you're a football field or just a glance away. You're a football field. You've traveled a football field, and that's how quick it changes. And you've got to and there's no going back, right? There's no going back. You have to slow down every mile that when you find these situations in these most difficult times. And like you said, Rick, anytime you encounter an adverse situation, whether it be something so simple as a glint in the eye or the sun in your eye, Slow down to where you can see better.
If it's raining, what do I do?
Slow down.
If it's snowing, what do I do?
Slow down.
I can't see the lights in my eyes.
Slow down.
But drive safe if traffic's heavy.
Slow down.
Slow down is the answer to so many things. And put away those distractions as well. We want to just make sure that, first of all, folks, that if you're watching BCB and you've never heard of this thing before, is that we place value on life. And being safe is the most important thing. Drive safe, Dave, you hit it right on. The hardest thing out there is staying focused, is being alert all the time, because it only takes a second. And we learn on this show from videos like we just saw. We learn about safety. We learn about circumstances. We learn about the value of staying focused on the road ahead.
Yeah, it is the one thing that you can control. It is the one thing that you are in 100% control of, is your attention to what's going on and reacting accordingly. And you just have to be, almost every single situation that you will encounter on the road that causes, it is to slow down, to apply the brake and be better prepared in the situation that you're fixing to get into. Whether it be something so simple as encountering heavy traffic, or an animal in the road, or anything like that, you can be better prepared if you just slow down and be visible. If you have to slow down, it doesn't hurt to throw on those hazards, dude.
Good points. Hey, drive safe, Dave. Let's do a little phrase that pays.
Be aware of your situation to avoid all hazardous temptation.
One more time.
Be aware of your situation to avoid all hazardous temptation.
I was out on the highway, loving my job, feeling blessed with presence. Buckle up, bye. After this run, I'll get home to the ones that I love. Drive safe, Dave. He's got the passion. Get the job done. Spreading the news and sharing their views. Solid as brick. Here comes Sir Rick. You've been safety struck. Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. Right on.
All right. Hey, welcome back. We got for the producer, Double Check Dale, and we got Buckle Up Bob. Welcome back and happy belated birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Correct?
Thank you.
All right, you and the producer both had one over the weekend, I believe.
Yep.
So, happy 45th.
Yeah,
again.
exactly, again.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We are going to... producer, do you have the one video on the school bus thing? Let's start with that, because that'll lead us right into our thing, if that's okay for you.
More than 200 police agencies will begin school bus safety patrols next week. It's part of the Stop Arm Violation Enforcement, or SAVE Blitz. Cops will be watching for stop arm violations and dangerous driving all near buses and in school zones. It's illegal in Indiana to pass a stopped bus that has its red lights flashing and stop armed extended. This past spring, officers issued more than 5,600 citations. An alarming amount were also found for speeding. Others were for texting while driving and stop arm violations. Police also issued 1,700 warnings.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, folks, I put that on there because this week we are talking about school bus safety. In a few weeks, actually, in some states, school's already begun.
Yes.
And so, we got to be ready for all the states that we're in, because schools start at various times. I know some states actually have school basically year round. They give them like a few weeks off in the summer. They spread out their summer vacation. I don't know how many townships actually do that. I do know there are some. So, sorry about that. But hey, let's make sure that we are, watching out for the school buses. We went over yesterday, and it's a problem in all 50 states. Okay, you got the school buses passing a stop school bus is against the law in all 50 states, and the same rules apply as yesterday. We had the directions and some great questions there. a divided highway. If it's not considered a divided highway, then you have to stop no matter what direction you're going. If it's a divided highway, so one of the drivers asked, hey, what if there's a center turn lane that's shared kind of thing, or that kind of one direction may have 3 lanes? Do you say yes? Because it's not a divided highway. We also talked about a video yesterday, stopping at a school or passing on a railroad crossing. I'm still researching, but everything I've found says it is illegal to pass. So I'm going to say even if you're already in that lane, because it also says that every vehicle, now not all of them do it, are supposed to slow down, almost stop, and roll their windows down and listen, turn the radio down, not only visually look, but to listen for the train as well. And if you're passing, say, a truck or a car, your vision may be blocked one direction. These trains on some of these single tracks will come from either direction. So I would say, based on what I can find out so far, unless it changes or somebody else finds something out there, that yes, it is illegal to pass, whether you're already in the lane or not, at a railroad crossing. Again, we've pressed, while it may not be legal to pass somebody at an intersection, we've also at a light require everybody to really slow down and be prepared to stop, because we've had videos where people run red lights. So again, you got to ask yourself, what's the safest thing to do? Well, it's not to pass somebody at an intersection in case somebody runs a red light and you're blocked from them. Now you're involved in an accident that you wouldn't be. So, I guess it comes back to the Smith system. If you don't have that big picture, you got to be prepared to stop, because if something's taking away your big picture, then there's that potential. And we see it more often than not. People are running more and more red lights, and we're going to see a video today that I'm ashamed to say is one of our drivers. So again, it's just got to stop. There's no room for it. We're just not going to. We got to have almost zero tolerance, and if not zero tolerance for that. But we are talking about school bus safety. So again, just remember that passing any stop school bus in the same direction is against the law in every state. Passing on an undivided highway in either direction is against the law. So the only time you can pass a school bus is the opposite direction, and only if it's on a divided highway. Pretty much all of the bottom half of North Carolina also seeing some shower activity right now. A little bit of red there in the South Carolina part, so not overly strong in the states other than right there that you're going to see. So if you're running along that Gulf Coast this morning or along the East Coast, you might see some scattered showers that you need to just be on the lookout for. Again, use good judgment. One thing that we know is required automatically is, as you heard Drive Safe Dave and Sir Rick, slow down. That is imperative. Speed limits are off the wall right now. If you're driving in the rain, it must be well under that. And again, watch the hydroplaning, right? At 40 miles an hour, you have the capability to hydroplane depending on the amount of water on the road. What we want to see is, hey, what's going to happen? What's the forecast then? Again, this is the current, this was at 2 p.m., so basically the same thing. But right now, exactly where the rain is, right? Most of it's out here in the ocean, which is the bigger area chance. And there's some scattered ones around the edges of the Gulf. But then you can see the big chances up in the Carolinas and Georgia, and that's exactly what's going on right now. As we go through the day this afternoon, when the heat and the humidity starts to rise, now you see some really strong cells. So the forecast, basically the same. We get some more rain out in the mountains. But right here, Florence, that's in that white. That's not going to be good, okay? So again, you're going to be looking at some strong winds, potential hail, potential tornadoes to be spawned from this. So make sure that you, if you're going through the, I-40, I think, that comes through Columbia and Florence, my drivers can help me out there. You're going to see some strong storm potential there. And you can see even in Georgia, right? You've also got here in North Carolina some red. Down by Vidalia, Georgia, could see some very strong storms as the day goes by. Florida, again, Tampa currently getting rain. Also forecast is to rain later on today as well. As we go into the early evening hours, see, it kind of dies down for the rest of the country, but look at that. That system just keeps moving northeast. So, again, as you can see, it was in South Carolina this morning and this afternoon, and then it moves up the coast as it moves out as well. So, strong storms for North Carolina in the late hours, like 10 p.m. tonight or even a little bit before. And then at 4 a.m., it's still, you can see how slow it's moving. It's still lingering in that Virginia Beach area with one of the big cells out in the ocean. And so, again, it's not moving very fast. Tomorrow morning, we get ready on the show, still the potential for some strong storms there right along the North Carolina coast. What is that? Well, which drive say David? Is that Cape Hatteras or something like that over there? Kitty Hawk, Havelock, Avalon. So right there in that little inlet with them isles kind of guard the bay a little bit, if you will. Could see some very strong storm chances tomorrow morning as we go. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll kind of look there. It finally moves out. Then we just got some scattered storms throughout the country. Shouldn't be an issue. Let's look at our winds. Do we get any winds? Because we haven't seen a whole lot of wind. You can see this morning, not much going on in the way of wind. As we go through the afternoon, which typically kicks them up, we do see a little increase, but you're still looking in the low 20s. Montana Billings has 29 potential gusts, mile-an-hour gusts, but everything else is in the middle to the low. As the evening hours come through, not much change, right? Looks pretty much the same. Billings does come down a little bit, but you're looking in the low 20s. Tomorrow morning, pretty much non-existent again. So it looks like we're going to get another break. Boy, it's been a long time since we've had any really major winds to worry about. So, excuse me. Sorry. That's the producer's cologne. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. But back to the wind is just non-existent for the most part. Just be mindful that just because it's forecast doesn't mean it can't be a little stronger. You can see our current winds. There's just not a whole lot going on. I don't see anything in the 20s. The big one here in Kansas, 16 it looks like. So just not anything to overly concern. Just watch your speeds. Watch the curves, the sharp curves, right? It doesn't take much wind to take the speed that you're using in the centrifugal force to blow you over. So just be mindful that just because the winds are down, we still have to obey them speed limits and be under them on the curves. Them are for four-wheelers. So with that, we'll take a quick little break and we'll come back with some videos.
Morning. Today is Tuesday, and we want to say happy birthday to Ronald Paradine. We don't have any anniversaries, but I do want to send a quick reminder to everyone that COVID-19 is still active nationwide. Please wear that mask. Use that antibacterial soap and sanitizer whenever possible. As always, keep your distance from others, and if you are looking for vaccine information or testing information, you can go to curative.com, and it's curative.com, and they can give you information nationwide. As always, be safe.
All right. Hey, folks, here we go. We've got the rain. Great job, Mr. Charles' house. We got some construction there, right? We got the rain. Look at that. What do we say when we stop? We want to see pavement. That is an outstanding job, Mr. Charles' house. We were doing well under the speed limit. We had that truck or whatever it was, it's going to get over. I'm assuming there's an exit there that you got to weave between the cones, it looks like, the markers, because there's some entrance ramps coming up. Maybe he's lost. Maybe he's got a problem. Actually, you're right. There is no entrance there. So my guess is he had a problem and had to get off the road. But great vision and awareness. Speed management, situational, right? We have reduced lanes in a normal 3 to 4 lane, it looks like, area. We're down to 2. It's raining pretty good, as you can see by the spray and the wipers. Headlights on coming from the other direction. And we've got that space management and our speed management to be able to stop and still see pavement. That is a tremendous job. That's exactly what we're looking for. We want to see these videos all day long when you see
It really is. I mean, he makes it look so easy, and I think part of the reason it looks so easy is because when you're going slower, things happen, much slower. You get much more time to make those decisions, good decisions that are going on. I mean, NASCAR says it all the time. Sometimes you got to go slow to go fast. And I mean, here's an example. You just, continue your speed on because you don't have to do anything in a hurry.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, we love to use sports analogies here, right? And you hear a lot of the college players that are really good in college, and they get to the pros, and some of them may struggle a little bit, and they just say the game's faster, and it's harder for them to adapt. And that just makes all the sense, because when you're going fast, it's hard for you to change and do what you need to do to be successful, right? And so you've got to learn to manage that speed. They've got to learn to play quicker and faster, and to realize we've got to learn to play slower. But the thing is, the speed of the game or the speed of these situations controls everything. In our case, we want to slow down that speed, not speed it up. And in the other one, they need to pick up their speed to play faster. But just the idea that speed, again, factors in so many aspects of life that you've got to manage it. And that's what we're talking about. You got to manage it per the situation, right? Sports, you want to manage it up. Driving, safe driving, we want to manage it down a little bit, right? Slow it down. Great job. Here's another one. Mr. Stephen Cook. Great job. Look at it. See how that car in our lane starts to gain distance. That's because our driver's slowing down because it's got a merge point. Has a line of cars, going to let them in. Outstanding job, Stephen.
I just love looking at videos like this because it just goes to show how professional, how good the drivers we have overall. I mean, because these videos outweigh the bad ones, far, far outweigh them. And so it's just fun looking at this and being able to point out and call, shout out to Stephen. Great job. Way to slow down managing.
Yep, and this is the calm before the storm, folks. So we got the good, the bad, or this is the ugly. I should have had this last. But man, wet pavement, right?
Yep.
Looks like a storm has come through. We're in a residential area, and we blow right through the stop sign, right? And here, I guarantee you, we're going to talk to the driver, and the driver's going to say, well, I didn't see it. Well, you're doing 60 miles an hour on a 2-lane highway with businesses coming up, and you don't adjust your speed. So you didn't give yourself any time to react, okay? Yeah. But you got to. You have to be aware that these is coming. This is 100% unacceptable. We are very, very fortunate that no one decided to pull out in front of our truck and get killed. Yep. I mean, this is just, I'm besides words, folks. So
yeah, there's a vehicle sitting on the other side. I mean, probably a little afraid to go, saw that truck. Thank God that other vehicle had situational awareness and decided to wait it out because, our truck just comes blasting through. They're just.
And look, right at the end of this, right there, you see all the water standing, right? Yep. So apparently it dumped a lot of rain. And again, these rural roads aren't as well taken care of as some of the interstates. So that could have flooded out into the water where you end up hydroplaning, jackknifing. Even, there's just so many situations here that you are not even thinking about. So again, this is the ugly. We had the good, we got the ugly, and now we're going to go right to the bad. And again, we've got good space, and we're just going to let it go. We're going to creep up on this flatbed. We got a slight incline, it looks like, but nothing horrible. Right now we're tailgating, folks, because we're doing 71 miles an hour, and then we jump out after a car. Right? We've got no outs. We're just taking the safety part of this out. Is our driver doing anything really reckless or unsafe? No. But what he is doing is he's not doing the safest actions that he can possibly do. And that's to slow down. Right now, you have to start letting off the gas. Getting out of it and just keeping that space so that when this vehicle passes you, you can wait 2 to 3 seconds and then get out there. So again, don't create the unsafe situation. That's what we did here. We had a safe situation and turned it into an unsafe. Remember, 65 miles an hour, you're traveling 100 feet per second. Right now, we're about 150 feet and closing. There, we're less than 100 feet. So that means we can't stop, folks. You cannot stop if something goes wrong. Same situation, right? We got great space. Traffic's moving away from us, so our speed's pretty good. Right? But we are on the cruise, it looked like in the charts, and then we just jump out there. We made a lane change before we got too close to the vehicle, but it's just got to go a little slower, and we can make that happen by slowing down. Right here, great space. and then again, boom, we get out there. And as you can see right here, let's freeze that when we start that over. Go ahead. And right when you get to the overpass, freeze it right before it gets there. Got a few seconds here. Keep going. Right here. So here we start to make our lane change, right? Where are we going to go if something happens, right? You're going to go straight down onto another highway. I mean, there's no out here. Remember, the big picture isn't the 2 lanes that you're driving in. We looked it up. The Smith system, that extends far to the right and far to the left. And you've got to know that situation. Like, hey, you know what? I know I want to pass here, but I need to slow down because I'm on an overpass. Where am I going to go? I can flip cars over it if I hit them too hard, right? There's just no safe way to be doing this on an overpass like this where there's no out. You've got 0 chances of escaping this unless you're able to stop. And we're going too fast to be able to do that. We know on average it takes you 2.25 seconds before you even begin to slow down. So that's what you've got to realize. That 2.25 seconds at 65 miles an hour, that's 225 feet. You almost got a football field before you even begin to slow down. And then vehicles in front of you, the 4-wheelers, they can stop quicker than you can. Who we got, producer?
Yeah, we got Larry Holt, then Jeff Marsh, and CJ. So what do you
Larry
got
Holt.
for us, Larry? All right, Jeff Marsh, what do you got for us, sir?
Hey, Jeff?
Okay, on that video with the stop sign, I did see something on there that we can actually blame whoever does the signs in that area. Because if you look at it, there is no sign that says a stop sign ahead like there usually supposed to be. So a lot of times you have a stop sign, especially in blockages like that, because you couldn't see the stop sign until you got close to those businesses, and then by that time it's too late. But right before then, where all those trees are, there's usually a sign there that says stop ahead or something. Or a sign that has the octagon in it, showing that there's a stop sign ahead.
Yeah.
And there was no sign prior to that.
Yeah, but we don't know there wasn't, Jeffrey. Yeah. It just means there wasn't one in the video. But again, the thing is, we are on wet roads on a 2-lane country highway, and we're doing 60 miles an hour, 61, I believe it was. So here, this whole thing isn't about the stop sign being there. Again, we have to be prepared for that. We have shown how dangerous these rural highways are. And then again, you're coming around a curve. Exactly the reason that you have to go slow. This is why we talk about these country roads, because they have curves with tree-lined highways that block your vision. So again, these are situational awareness. Who else
well, I was also going to add just on top of that, it's also a wet road. And we see that fresh wet road conditions on a rural highway, typically not a 60 mile per hour. Even a 4-wheeler shouldn't be hitting that 60 mile per hour. But we do have CJ here on the line. What do you got for us, sir?
CJ.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, BCB.
Good morning.
And good morning, all the drivers. On that video with the wet roads, and like Jeffrey Marsh said, me in a big truck, I drive as far as I can see. And before you even come to that stop sign, before you can even see it, what I noticed is there was a car coming out of the mobile home, where you buy mobile homes. It looked like, if you go back to it, right here, you'll see a car coming out. A car crossed in front of him, right there. You see that?
Yeah.
The car came out across. Well, that right there is a good sign to slow down. To me, it's more or less residential. And why it's 60, I don't have a clue. I would be traveling between 45 and 50, if that, with the wet roads. But what I want to say, guys, is y'all please, I'm 63 years old, guys. I've been driving for a long, long time. And I enjoy BCB. I really do. I've been looking for a company like this all my life. If y'all want to drive Outlaw, I can give you a phone number where you can drive a big Pete with a long nose and pull in every way station and get DOT'd. You know what I'm saying? If y'all keep it up and we kill somebody, we're going to be going in every way station. No more green light. It pays to be safe. And how are you going to be making any miles when you're getting DOT inspected? How are you going to be making any miles when some DOT sees that ICC number? Oh, they've had a lot of wrecks. Let me pull him over and check his logbook. Y'all with me? Did y'all understand?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else, Bob, to explain it to him. I really don't. I just know that I'm where I want to be. I love Rick and Brian, and buckle up, Bob. Drive safe. We've got a great company, and all we're trying to do is get better and better. And there's nothing wrong with being great, nothing at all. And all it takes is one bad accident, and we're ruined. We're ruined. Okay.
Yep.
Let's stay good and let's stay positive. Let's stay good. I don't know what else to say, Bob, other than give them my phone number. I'll get them hooked up with an outlaw. That's what's wrong. Is these drivers that never drove for a bad company and get DOT'd a bunch, and they don't respect a good company, I guess. I don't know what else to say, but I love this company, and I don't want nobody to ruin it.
Thank you, CJ. I agree 100%. And, if you want to drive dangerously or in dangerous conditions, I got 3 words for you: ice road trucker. Right? Go become an ice road trucker. If the thrill of danger thrills you that much and you desire it, then and you don't just want to slow down, then go to ice road trucking, right? But BCB is not the place for you. No. And again, not trying to be a negative person, but there's just zero tolerance for that. We just can't. I mean, you can have every reason in the book, but it's because you're not doing. Running the stop sign is the result or product of several things not being done prior. It's as simple as that. And so either if you're not going to be willing to do the things that are proactively and the safest thing to do, then say, well, I didn't see this. Well, obviously, I mean, we don't think anybody wants an accident on purpose. We don't think anybody runs a stop sign necessarily on purpose. But what they haven't done is done the things that helps you prevent that stuff. Who else we got, producer?
Yeah, we got Jeanette Hayes, and then we got Alan Arnold and Cole Dew. What do you guys got for us?
Hey, Jeanette.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say because CJ just took every word out of my mouth. So I have to say ditto to everything he said. I agree completely. And another thing on that video, you've got a tree-lined curve in the road. That's a blind curve. So, that's a sign right there. Hey, I need to start slowing down. This road is wet. I can't see what's around this curve. And then, bam, you're in a community. So there could have been, I saw that stop sign in the video quite a ways before I don't know what he was doing.
Yes.
That he didn't see that stop sign because there was time to stop. But either ways, I'm nobody to judge other drivers. But I agree with CJ. If y'all want to drive for a cowboy company, there's plenty of them out there, but this ain't it.
No.
And like yesterday, Justin and I sent a video in around 1:00. We're coming into Laredo. Justin was driving. I was riding up here in the front with him. We're coming up down the interstate. Plenty of room to see that there was a moving convoy in the right lane with that flashing arrows showing the right lane's closed here. Y'all need to start merging. This guy runs up on our passenger side. And if we hadn't hit the brakes as hard as we did, because we were paying attention, he would have slammed right into the back of that first truck that had that flashing arrow on it. And he ended up cutting us off, almost took off our front end. I mean, it's crazy that people aren't looking ahead anymore. And we spent more time yesterday. You can ask Heather, our dispatcher. We spent more time yesterday stopped on the interstate and on off ramps being routed around a fatality accident. And then no more, we got on the highway, and then bam, we were stopped again for another one.
Yep.
I mean, it's getting crazy because people just aren't paying attention and slowing down. So we need to have our situational awareness because we got to make up for everybody else that's not.
Yes, I agree, Jeanette. Well said, dear. Who else we got there, producer? Can't add.
Yeah, we got Alan Arnold. What do you got for us?
Alan.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Bob, Mr. Dell.
Good morning.
Hey, I'd like to go back to the very first of this conversation about the school buses.
Yes.
I really, really wish that Mr. Dillon was capable of putting a school bus around that curve where we ran that stop sign. I really wish you could, and we could play that out, because that's what I see right there. Okay, you're speeding. It's that time of year. You got these kiddie cars coming back out, and it's wet. You're coming around a curve in a blind spot. What if there's a trailer park right there? What if there's a school bus stopped? You know, what then? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. You know what, Alan? I love your vision and the what if, right? Man, we got to have every driver thinking that. And I love how you put the topic this week together, because that is 100% spot on. What if that was a school bus in the middle of that lane? You know, and on these rural highways, that is 100% likely. I mean, the rural highways do it all the time, right? School buses are out there in these rural settings. Yes. Who else we got, producer? Man, I don't know how to add to that either. Well said, drivers. You're all doing great. If you could take the words out of Buckle Up, Bob's Bob, you're doing an amazing job.
All right, we got Cool Dude, Curtis Benedict, and then Jeff Marshall.
Wow.
What do you got for us, Cool Dude?
How you doing, Bob-tastic?
There we go. Haven't heard that in a while. How you doing, Cool Dude?
I'm doing okay. What I wanted to throw out was on that video. I'm not bashing anybody or anything, but some of the absolute worst intersections you can deal with is unknown, like the trailer park, driveways, business driveways. When you see this stuff coming up, he had all kinds of alerts: wet road, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blind curve, loss of vision, and then the unexpected. When you have all these driveways, that is just like, jumping in being a knives, so it's best to slow down and try to keep a good vision ahead of you and watch for everybody coming out of their driveway. So somebody would back out of their driveway, when he come around that curve, he would have had to lock his brakes up and would have crashed anyway. So, but I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just throwing out warning signs, you need to look for, and that's all. Thank you, Bob Tastic. You guys have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Cool Dude. Love it, love it. Man, they're on top of their game today, aren't they, producer? All right. Who else we got?
Yeah, Curtis Benedict. What do you got for us, sir?
Curtis.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
I'm just going to add to everybody else on that video, but here's the one thing that I've noticed in the past is that when you come into little towns like that, your speed slowly reduces to, from 60 to 45 to 35 to, a stop sign. I mean, I know that there's some intersections out in the country that'll go from a 60 to a stop sign, but I'm quite certain that there was plenty of information alongside that highway that was telling the driver that he needed to be slowing down.
Yeah.
And that for some reason he wasn't. I don't know if he was trying to make up time. Obviously, the situational awareness of the whole thing there is escaped him. But God, I can't even imagine if that would have been a buster on the corner over there.
Yeah.
That just takes the words right out of your mouth there.
It does, don't it?
All I can say is we need to do a better job of our situational awareness. And I had read on Truckers something. I know that DOT is starting to call out drivers for watching movies as they drive down the road. I certainly hope that none of our drivers are doing that because, as you say, 100 feet per second, and you're watching movies, man, you're just asking to kill this company is all you're doing. So that's all I've got. I certainly hope that whoever this driver is, excuse me, really takes a moment and lets all that absorb in. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing him either, but that was really scary right there.
It was.
So that's all I've got, guys. Have a great day.
Hey, Curtis, before you go, can you share? I sent out a message to have everybody log in a certain way so that we have a easier time at getting the bonus list together for you all, because it's really taking a lot of time. It's messed up, and so I'm got to go back through it. And one of the things moving forward, now I noticed you got logged in, and I seen your name, and I think the other one might have been Todd Bridges or Larry Holt. I can't remember which one. Also got their DM in there as well. How did you do that? Because a lot of drivers are asking.
Well, Bob, you go into the settings down there in the bottom. There's a little wheel down there that says settings,
awesome.
And then it will have your name and it will have your email underneath it. All I did was just leave my name there, put 2 backslashes in there, and then I put Chad's name in there, and then I just I don't know if there was an enter or an update, or if I just, went to the screen so I could see the video. But
yeah, and I gotta check. Maybe the producer can get a roster.
Did you catch all that, Bob?
Yes. Maybe I can get the producer to send me a roster to make sure that did what we wanted. I'm not sure it's going to. What we may have to do is put your full name in there, and then put the driver manager in the email. What happens is each one of those gives us a column. And so we're just trying to be able to sort by driver managers and by drivers at the same time. So I will see if we can't get a roster for after today, and just see if that's what we're needing, Curtis. That's what I thought, folks. So that's what I've been telling them. There should be a settings button that allows you to change all that. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much. Who else we got, producer?
Yeah, we got Jeff Marsh, and then Brian Winsauer had a question in the chat and also has his hand up. What do you guys got for us?
Jeff Marsh.
Yeah, I was just gonna go on what Jeanette was saying. About the traffic that they were in. I was talking to Justin yesterday, and I called him yesterday morning, and I was like, "How's it going, bud?" And he is, "I'm having a bad day," and I'm like, "What's up?" And he was talking about all the traffic, and there was one time in the conversation where he was on the service road. He was getting back on the highway, and it took him like probably, I don't know, 20 minutes to just go up the ramp or something like that. And then once he got on the highway, they had it shut down, so he had to get right back onto the service road. So yeah, I can back on what she's saying about how much they were sitting in traffic yesterday.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And we got Brian Winsauer, did you say?
Yeah. So he had originally asked in the chat here what triggered the recording of the video where we went around and ran that stop sign. And then he also has his hand up afterwards for that as well.
Yeah. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I cannot remember the label that was there. So I'm not 100% positive.
Gotcha. And what do you got for us, Brian?
Good morning, everybody. Bob, the reason I had asked was what would have made that even scarier if it was a hard break on that wet road that triggered the video. As he was coming up, if he, locked him down, and well, that would have been a recipe for disaster on those wet roads like that. That's what I was hoping, that it wasn't a hard break. But the other thing, Curtis was correct that when you go through the settings, you only get the name and email option. What I did to do the way that you had sent it was I just very quickly uninstalled, go to webinar, then reinstalled it, and then it gave me the first name, the 3 fields, first name, last name, and email as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Brian. I knew I wanted to bring that up. So again, folks, there's going to be some growing pains. Just help us out. Again, so that way when we run this report at the end of August, we'll be able to fine tune it, have more guidance for you all, so that my goal is so that we can get this second or third quarter a little bit easier. July is already over, so if we can get August and September to be a little bit easier to control and record who's on the call. We want to be accurate. Right now, this report is horrible. We had drivers on 172 times, which is impossible. We don't have that many opportunities. There's usually around 54 a month. So we're just trying to find a way to where I found a way where I can delete a lot of the stuff before, and it doesn't take very long to do. And then one of the things moving forward, we want to be able to give our driver managers the information of how many on their fleet. So if you change fleets for whatever reason, then please go back in them settings and change your driver manager, so that each time we run that report, we'll be able to send that information to the driver manager with current information. So it really will help us. Again, I apologize for the delay on the email. I'm working diligent on it. If I can get enough uninterrupted time, I'm hoping to have this done today or tomorrow. Have the email out still a couple weeks in advance. Again, if we don't get you on by the time, if you've got a discrepancy and we didn't get it resolved, we'll still honor the bonus if you qualified and didn't get it right at the 21st. So, but we'll get the majority of them out on time. And so we just wanted to make sure we get that for you. And I apologize. Didn't expect this problem. Then all of a sudden it just reared its ugly head this quarter. Who else we got?
All right, Alan Arnold, what do you got for us?
Hey, Mr. Bob, real quick, I wanted to go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. I wanted to just put it out there. Get the permit books updated.
Yep.
Because we've got 19 days left before break check. So
the
just wanted to throw that out.
22nd.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. Make sure we have all of our permit books up to date. Okay.
Yeah, when you get through any terminal, Carlisle or here, bring them in. Have Richard Rowe up there go through them. Have the ladies here go through your books. You go through them, right? Really, that should be something. It's not that hard for you. You just go through each page and make sure the expiration dates are good. If not, call your DM and let's get you one. We can fax it. We can email it. We can do some things to where allow you to print it and put it in your book until you can get by and get one in there. But please, take a look at that. We hear you complain enough at sitting at some of these customers, so we know during the week you get an opportunity to check your permit book. Kind of make that a priority, and we'll maybe start a campaign for that as well, Alan. Who else we got, producer?
We got Curtis Benedict. What do you got for
Hey,
us?
Curtis.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
Hey, is that spot that I have my DM okay, or would you like me to uninstall, reinstall, and then put Chad in that last name part of it?
I think that's the best way, but again, I won't know till I can run a report and see how it comes out on it, Curtis. That's what I was going to see if the producer can do for me today. If they'll give me a partial one for August, and we can see what you did today and see. I don't know if they'll let us do that, but we can try that and see. But I do know that it sounds to me like that will mess it up if it's on your name line, the first name line. So what you can do, if you don't want to uninstall it, what I do know, there's a column for your first name, a column for your last name, and there's a column for the email. So if you go to the settings and don't want to uninstall it where you get all three boxes, we don't need your email in there. So just change your email and put your DM in there. And maybe that's what I think moving forward, let's do that, folks. So I don't have a bunch of you have to uninstall and install it back. If you do that, that's great. But that way, I've got the two columns I'm looking for. I'm looking for the email for the DM, and I'm looking for your name is left alone then that way. So that's what I'd like to see, I think, to start out. Now, we may change that after we run the report in August. Again, this is trial and error, folks. It just reared its ugly head this going back to the last quarter, so I apologize for that, but it's just like, wow. And, and the last quarter is when we started all this new GoToWebinar stuff, so it makes sense that we're going to have some growing pains here, but we want to get that done. It is easier in the long run if we just get it ironed out a little bit. So for right now, let's go, and I'll send another message. You go to, and with the instructions. So we're going to go to settings. We're going to leave your name line alone. Just change your email to your DM, because I do know that the email address does come up in there, and then I can just use that column. Does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. And I'll get that to the DMs too as an instructions out to the office. All right.
Hey,
Anybody
Bob.
else, producer?
Hey, Bob, can you hear me?
No? Can you hear me?
All right, Jeanette Hayes.
I wonder if you're going to catch that if I said no, if you actually did. Well, wait a minute. How'd you answer the
I
question?
know I'm a woman. I don't give up. I'm not that easy. I'm stubborn.
So what I hear
just
you
went in
saying
and
is that
changed
would have worked
mine.
on Justin, but not you.
Right. I just went in and changed mine, but I had to put it Heather Long at BCB.com for it to accept it. Because if you just put Heather Long in there, it deletes it.
Thank
It won't accept it. So, yeah, on anybody else who's trying to just put your DM, I guess, and put at BCB.com, and that's the only way it'll accept it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that update. Yeah, folks. Once we do it once, it's good. So I know it's a little cumbersome, but it ain't. Once you do it once, you're set. So who else we got?
Yeah, Jesse Swain. What do you got for
Hey,
us, sir?
Jesse. Jesse Swain. What we got, buddy? All right, we can't get to you. It looks like, buddy. All right, is that it, producer?
We got a CJ here. What do you got for us?
CJ.
One more thing. My phone, I'm not computer smart, but when I'm listening,
You cut out, CJ.
call me, I have to get out of the show and come back on the show and all that. So anybody listening, you guys, we can talk after the meeting, okay? There was only one that called for the show, congratulating him what I said. But it can all wait till after I get off the show.
Thank you.
Most of my friends and family know what time the show is in the morning and in the evening. And if any of you drivers have that problem or it interferes with the meeting and you got to turn your phone off and go back into the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, CJ. All right. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We got
What happened?
We're good. We heard you, bud. All right. We're going to close it out with a prayer.
I'm on.
All right. All righty. Hey, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for the honesty and the humility from our drivers, Lord, that they're willing to look inward instead of outward, Lord, as they protect the precious life that you granted each and every one of us. Lord, again, I know the prayer gets repetition, but it's from the heart, Lord, that we want every life spared each day. And Lord, we have control over that. We have the ability to make wise decisions, Lord, by slowing down and returning home safely to our families. Lord, that is our prayer, that each and every one of these drivers make it to their destination, make it to their stops, make it to their deliveries, and then when it's time to go home, Lord, that they make it home safely until we all make it safely home to you, Heavenly Father. Lord, again, we want us not to forget our brother Larry Graham as he struggles through a horrible illness, Lord, that he continues to get the strength and courage needed from us, from you, Lord, that he turns and prays to you, Lord, and asks for your love and your strength and your protection. Lord, that protection is saw in so many ways, and we ask that we continue, each and every one gets a glimpse of that love and protection. Lord, keep us all safe, keep us in your graces, and we thank you so much for your mercy and your son, Jesus. And it is in his name that we pray these things. Amen. God bless everybody. We will talk with everybody this afternoon.